Hello everyone, welcome to ST Model Cars. In this video, I want to give you a quick comparison between the two AutoArt releases of the Nissan Skyline GTR R34. So this car on the left is the newer release. This is the Nismo Z-Tune version, and this is a composite car. And this car on your right, the one sitting on the trailer, it's the R34 V-Spec 2, and this is being the older AutoArt. This car is die-cast metal, so I happen to have both of this car, and I want to give you a quick comparison and between the two releases. Now, why is this car sitting in the trailer? To be honest, and unfortunately, this car is actually, you can say, broken. Let's just say I was being a little careless with it. So, the car actually kind of fell apart. If you look at the front wheel, it just, this front suspension completely collapsed. So I just want to be, give you that disclaimer that this is a broken car. Is it repairable? Yeah, I just haven't get a time to, try to repair this car properly. But, I just want to give you this quick comparison so you can kind of see the plus and minuses of each of the AutoArt release. Okay, let me put the phone on the pedestal here. Okay. All right, so let me put this car together. Let's just kind of snap this back in place. Okay, and I'll move the trailer out of the way. So I just kind of put the trailer there for fun. Okay, so let's start with the old car. If you look at the old car, one of the great things with this car being a metal car, there is zero paint rash. I have a lot of AutoArt that is pretty much eaten by the paint rash, which is pretty sad. But this car, this R34, this old R34 release, zero paint rash. So I don't know what AutoArt did with this, but it really held up really good. So speaking of paint, right? If you look at the car, and I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but the base side blue are different hues. And I don't know if that's on purpose, if there are different hues of Bayside blue during the lifespan of the R34. And I admit I'm not the Nissan GTR expert. So if you know the answer to this, feel free to post them in the comment section. But you can tell that the color hue is different. Like the car on the left, the composite car here, it's a bit more purplish. And the metal car here is very blue, like it has that very deep blue, right? So, and I personally, I like the old car better. I like the space side blue better. I think it just looks classier, and it just highlights the shape of the R34 better than this newer version of the base side blue. Okay, so as far as comparison goes, why don't we take a look at the engine first, right? So let me see if I can open this. Okay. So the old car, the hood kind of stay up by itself. It just kind of clicks, in the back. And the new one, it kind of fell, so I got to put this prop here. And the old one doesn't come with the prop. So let's take a closer look at the engine between the two cars here. Here's the old engine in the inline 6, right? Again, this car is almost 15 years old, right? It's really good, back then, right? But if you move to the new car, I mean, you can see a huge improvement in engine detailing. You can see all the plumbings, right? All the hose connectors, the labeling, fluid reservoir, strut brace, right? Everything is just done so nicely. So here's the new car. Let me try to focus the camera here. And here's the old car. Okay. Taking a look at the headlight details, they're pretty comparable. The old car kind of have that silver outline outside each of the cluster, and the new one looks a bit darker. And I think that might be true to the real car, because and also the turn signal lens, right? On the new car, they're tinted, and the old one, they're clear with, you can see a orange dot that simulate the bulb. So yeah, front end, they're quite they're quite similar. Close the hood here. Oh, of course the front fascia fell off. I'm gonna get this out of the way just for now. As far as the sight proportion, they are pretty much, you know, the same. The scaling is the same. Of course, the only difference is this being the Z-Tune Nismo. You know, it has that more aggressive front fender, and it has the uptick there at the base of the windshield, right here, right? Versus the old car, everything kind of flows a little bit smoother. So, but as far as the panel gaps and everything, I would say, you know, the metal car is probably a little bit tighter actually. So here's, you know, if you look at the side view, if you look at the gap around the door, and here's the composite car with the gap around the door. So, you know, the metal car actually looks a little bit tighter, right? Looking at the wheels, so here's the old car. I get it that it's a different wheel, different setup, but this is the V-Spec 2 wheel details, right? And here's the Nismo details. So in this one, the composite car completely blew the other car out of the water, right? Slotted rotors, you know, the disc brake looks more realistic. And, you know, what I really like is that they actually, if you look at the tires, they actually put all the markings on the tire, the Bridgestone Potenza tires. So, okay, let's take a look at the interior next. Okay, so I'll start with the old car here. So, you know, I keep saying like this car is 15-year-old, but it really held itself well throughout the years. You know, this interior, if it's were, you know, to be released today, I don't think it really looks out of place in the premium model car. And one thing I really like about the old car interior is, you know, they try to simulate the cloth seat, so they kind of put you know, this flock materials on the seat, and it just looks so classy, right? I like it. You know, it just looks cozy. That's a better word for it, right? So, you know, if you look at the newer car now, let me move on to the composite car. The interior is much louder with that red accent. The detail is better. If you look at the cluster and everything, right? You know, the detail is just one step above the old car. However, and I know this is not AutoArt's fault, right? They're trying to mimic the real car, but on this Nismo Z-Tune car, the seats, I think they're trying to simulate leather, right? You know, so it has that kind of like semi-gloss black shiny-ish surface, you know, with the red insert. And, you know, if you look at the old car, it has that cloth seats, and somehow I still like the cloth seats better. Okay. So moving in the back, I have to give you a disclaimer here. Somehow back then I kind of didn't like the tall spoiler of the R34, so I had a project when I cut it. So I cut the post and I re-glued this, so the spoiler is actually shorter, you know, than the original. I mean, here's the shortened spoiler, and here's the original spoiler, so you can see. But, you know, like detail level on the back, I would say about equal. The only nicer thing maybe on the new car is that, you know, you have the photo etch badge here versus just a decal on the old car. So, okay. All right. So yeah, I would say if you know, have this old AutoArt, you know, the metal car, is it worth to maybe sell it and get the new one, the composite? Personally, I would keep the old one. There's so much goodness in this old AutoArt GTR. Hey, even with the front fascia off, it still looks good. And you know, the new car, it just kind of takes the detail up another notch, right? So if you can find this, you know, at reasonably price, I would say grab it if you want, right? But so there it is, right? New car and the old car with the pros and the cons. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this R34 comparison. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feel free to post them in the comment sections. Much appreciated if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel. I hope you enjoyed this again, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.